Thank you for coming and giving me the opportunity to speak today to you all. As I've had a roller coaster of a ride of these 4 years. You know, in high school, hard to believe that I wasn't very outgoing. I didn't do much at all.
Really?
I wrote one article for my high school newspaper through all 4 years. And I came to Hood to play soccer. And that's it, the game that I love. I came to play soccer, and that's the only reason I came to Hood. But something happened. Something happened while I was here. Now I think the Hood family allowed me to be who I really am, and you know, I met a mentor who saw potential in me. And message number one tonight is, I think it's special when someone sees something in you that you don't even see in yourself. You know, I've been involved in SGA for 3 years, but a lot of people don't know how I got here to this point right now. My first year at Hood, I wanted to get involved, but I really didn't at all. I met with the executive board in 2008, which seems like forever ago, but never joined SGA until my sophomore year when I was secretary. And as secretary, we did the same stuff that we do today: the holiday dinner, Easter egg hunt, luminaries. And unfortunately, you know, a personal thing is I think I went through the motions. I really didn't prove myself to myself, and that was disappointing to me. I call it my sophomore slump. You know, at the same time, I worked on other projects, like Dean White said, got Blaze, our mascot costume, but no one really saw me as a leader, and that made me want to work as hard as I knew I really could. And when I decided to do that, everything changed. And when everyone else thinks that you aren't going to turn into a leader and you do, that's when all the hard work pays off. How to set yourself up for that success and not cheat yourself is what I'm going to talk about tonight. There's a poem that I've had hanging in my room for all 4 years I've attended Hood, and it's called The Man in the Glass by Peter Windrose Sr. And for me, it talks about why you shouldn't cheat yourself. I had it somewhere up here.
Come on, Doug.
But it's not anymore. So, go read the poem. You know, at the very beginning of this year, I had a convocation address, and I said to you know, a bunch of first-year students that I follow 3 keys that I think will lead to success in your college career, and they're perseverance, confidence, and determination. I also recommended that you find a mentor, and I'm going to reiterate this because I think it's probably the most important thing in that convocation speech, and it's probably the most important thing that I've lived by. The one person who you talk to about your day could be the one who pushes you to do something extra beyond what you thought was possible. A mentor is someone who is willing to stand up for your ideas while putting their ideas with yours. A mentor is one who believes in you even when no one else does. A mentor is a person who helps you through the struggles in your college career, and it's amazing what can happen when 2 minds think together. Remember, you and your mentor don't need to think alike, just together. And I hope that many of you have found that mentor this year, if you're a first-year student. And if you haven't, trust me, it isn't too late. You still have time. So getting to the SGA part of things. We started off quick this year. It's probably the fastest start to the fall semester since I've been here. We actually met as an executive board last year, before this fall even started, to get on the same page. So we got here at the beginning of this year in the fall semester, and we had training, which included goals and a mission statement, and quickly our 3 goals. SGA will connect with 2 students weekly about campus topics, unite the campus community by creating 4 new events during the year to promote spirit, and create an SGA brand while utilizing social media, promotional publications, and word of mouth. And that 3rd one was really close to me, because I like getting SGA out. I don't think it was out enough, it wasn't publicized enough, and I really wanted to try to do that. Our mission was, we, the Hood College SGA, will listen to and advocate for students in order to bring a positive wave of change to Hood College. And we made sure that we stuck positive in there because SGA wasn't going to make any changes that were for, not for the better of this institution. Now, during the 2nd week of class, I sat down with Dean White. And I think this has a lot to do with the award that, you know, she was honored to have today based on her characteristics. You know, I had a few goals for SGA. And you know, I was ready to spit all these ideas out, and I was so excited to meet with the dean because I had never really sat down one-on-one with the dean before. I had sat down last year with Tierra Hawks, our president, last year with Ethan, but we never really had a one-on-one conversation. And what ended up happening was different than I would have ever thought. Dean White started asking about me, my family, my interests. It was amazing. She wanted to become so involved with my life and took the time out to do so. And it's an act that I will always remember, and one that I think I've passed on to others because of the generosity she showed me. It's amazing what happens when someone takes time out of their schedule to get to know you as a person, so thank you for that, Dean White. You know, once that was all over, I ended up telling her some goals. Personally, for me, that were not part of our 3 goals in SGA this year. One of them was I wanted more exec meetings because I'm a workhorse. No, because you know, we were going 2.5, 3 hours, which I'm not going to say that ended this year, but we were going 2.5, 3 hours, you know, twice a month in executive board meetings. So I wanted to try to cut down on the time. I also wanted to have 1 p.m. meetings, especially our student senate. I didn't know if these would work to try to get our commuter students out. You know, I'm not sure if they'll continue them next year, but I wanted to give it a try. I wanted a little bit of positive change to see if we could get some more student input. I wanted to meet with the Board of Trustees, and I think that this is something that came to life in the 2nd semester this year, and I think it actually really helped with Tyler's, you know, hopefully with Tyler's presentation. They saw a student and what we've been doing. Hopefully they'll be able to improve what the Planning and Budgeting Committee has recommended to them. I wrote down, I want to meet with Volpe a lot. That was on my goals, President Volpe. So basically what I did is I set up meetings for the entire year, not the entire semester, the entire year, every 2 weeks with President Volpe. And even if I didn't have anything to talk to him about, anything important, I'd go in his office and I think we'd sit sometimes for an hour and just chat and tell stories. So thank you for being open for that. And then I wanted to have an opening ceremony. This closing ceremony wasn't really a goal at the beginning of the year, and I wanted to have an installation of officers, which ended up happening. We started SGA and we were flying through, accomplishing so much. I started a blog for my online journalism class, received almost 2,000 views, which is remarkable. It's unreal. And I wanted to go through some things that we accomplished in the first semester. We made the first ever SGA webpage and planted our faces and committees in the blue and gray. I'm sure many of you have seen our SGA members who wear these bright orange shirts, and it says, "Talk to me, SGA has your back." Those were, I think, a great idea. We wanted to stand out this year, and that was a little bit of marketing. We had a dining services hot topic, and with a little bit of student help, we brought back the to-go dinner boxes, which I'm happy about. We put our voices out there in resolutions about campus safety blue lights and computer upgrades through IT. We also urge students and continue to urge students to speak out against criminal activity. We had students come and ask us for help with their organizations. Alternative spring break trip, I had a student come to me. Policy and hours for the new athletic center. Our BSU, who is here today, thank you guys for coming, came to a Senate meeting and presented challenges to us about tutors and roommate preference forms. And I'll get to that a little later in the speech. We were able to tell the students that Price Auditorium had the asbestos removed before anybody could report it. We had a review of policies for dollars, and changes are always looking, positive changes are always looking to be made for that. Chuck Mann presented the school budget to us in the first semester, broke down where our money is going. So if you ever complain about how expensive Hood is and how the money's spent, you should have been there. We celebrated President Volpe's 10-year anniversary of being president of the college. Congratulations. We had 2 Spirit Days in the first semester, fulfilled our semester goal, Blue and Gray Day, the other class color / Dink Day. One of the huge ones, I think that really defined our character as an SGA, at least executive board, was a stance that we took. And we publicized this thing like crazy, I hope. And it was the stance on the core curriculum that the faculty was proposing. And due to our voice, we do believe that the faculty heard us and implemented only a 2-year pilot of the first-year seminar, which the executive board did oppose 2-9. I believe that we put on the most successful holiday dinner to date in my 4 years with a free giveaway, cups, that everyone loved. We had an ugly sweater contest that produced many hits and likes on our Facebook, and we had a video montage in the dining hall. Credit to Jen Betts and her committee for that one. We extended library hours the week before and of finals until 1:30 with help from Nick Mudgett. And this is something that will continue because it was advantageous to the student body. We also received confirmation that there is a student representative on a space utilization committee, LAA Eggball, which is looking at the Gambrel downstairs, house across the street we purchased, Price Auditorium. We're pushing for more student space, and LAA is your student representative for that. That was the first semester. Then the winter came. And that was probably the most difficult time to keep the momentum going. You know, this is probably one of the toughest challenges for me personally as SGA president, because everything's growing. Everything's going in the right direction during the fall semester, and then winter hits, and it just cuts off. People rest, including me. But I did end up being at Hood. I broadcasted for our basketball teams, which helped. But the second semester, you know, personally, I think it got off to a slow start, you know, which I wasn't very happy with. But even though it seemed like it to me and possibly other SGA members, you know, I think the students were in for a surprise because we had a surprise for them coming to Whitaker. Now, I think I've been looking for new ways to get publicity out the last 3 years that I've been here after my freshman year, other than the traditional flyers. You know, I hate looking through 14 flyers at the dining hall. And I think that I finally found a way, and the LED message sign in Whitaker was an extreme accomplishment for SGA goal number 3, to create an SGA brand. Again, a huge goal of mine as well. I think students utilized it for upcoming events, and I think it was one of the best monetary decisions SGA has made all year. And again, credit especially to Neda Al-Basha. Neda, I don't know if you're here, but she updates that thing, and a lot of credit to her. Publicity-wise, our Facebook page updated by Jen Betts, Megan Gregory, and Neda, and we have more likes on it than any other year I've been here. In the second semester, like I said while talking about Tyler, we have been awarded $15,000 more to help out student organizations on this campus. And events that student organizations want to put on now, they won't be turned down because of money. They will be able to do the events that they want to do, which is extremely exciting for me. We're in the midst of Give Your Heart to Hood Week, which is teamed up with the Respect Initiative. And we started this Respect Initiative to help students realize that this is a place that we call home. And we want it to stay like that. The 4 pillars, hope, opportunity, obligation, democracy, are being focused on because that's what we as students are about when we attend college. I give credit to the entire SGA for making this Respect Initiative become a reality. We are earning the trust back from our administration as we are painting a part of Whitaker this Friday as a service project, as is a tradition that Jen Betts and SGA is reviving. And while I'm talking about making the campus a better place, an organization that is supported and funded by SGA, our Black Student Union, wanted to make this campus a better place. They came to Senate meeting and presented some challenges that they wanted their help on. And unfortunately, other things took priority, and we never really gave concrete answers back to them, which is something I recognize and I look at as a failure. However, that did not stop them from becoming a very good organization. BSU is an organization that, in my opinion, was in shambles only a couple of years ago. Attendance at their events was not very good, and their executive board fell apart. It was revived, and I think the whole executive board is a major reason because of that. One perk of being student body president is that I attend many events on this campus, including our own SGA events. I decided to head to Liberation Weekend for only the second time in my 4 years here. And, you know, I didn't really know what to expect. But what I saw was amazing. You know, I only made it to the fashion show, but it was probably the most well-run event that BSU has ever put on as an organization. And it's certainly in my top 3 events of the year. I heard only positive things about the entire Liberation Weekend, and the attendance was through the roof. I congratulate BSU for that because I know how much work you have put in to revitalize this organization, and I wanted to recognize you for that. BSU, give them a round of applause. Heading back to SGA, we're in the midst of a restructuring proposal. And I stand here today, unfortunately, without being able to pass a gavel to a specific person. However, we are aiming to positively impact the future of SGA by doing this. And I'm very confident that the 5 months of work that has been put in will pay off at the end of the semester. One of the biggest projects during the second semester that I was fortunate to be a part of is something called Things to Do Before You Graduate. This is going to be SGA's thing for the future. And for the upcoming year, I just met with Dr. Bands and Dean White, and we have a proposal going around, 60 things to do before you graduate. And it's a list. One of them is high five President Volpe. Another is to go get a slice of pizza at Pizza Pretzel Creations. Another is to go to the Inner Harbor. There are a lot of things. There might be some that you can't do, like find a ghost in Broadbeck or Memorial. But I challenge you to find one. You know, I want to thank all the SGA members for submitting your ideas, because I think that this is something that next year is going to be huge, and you guys are going to publicize it. And people all around this campus, the 1,500 undergrads that we have, are going to be able to enjoy this in future years. I want to take this time now to say a few thank yous to some people, because I couldn't have been successful in my 4 years without them. My mentors, Dr. Ted Chase, who has returned from outside the country to be here. You know, Dr. Chase has fed me a lot of ideas throughout the years, and I think he's really helped me shape to become the person I've been today. And you know, when I talk about me finding a mentor in my convocation speech and today, those words really are him. So thank you, Dr. Chase. Another one of my mentors, Danielle Weaver. You know, when Dr. Chase left, I was kind of, you know, still trying to find another mentor to latch onto. And Danielle kind of just fell right there. You know, one of the best things about Danielle, and we talk about this all the time, is that there's Doug and area coordinator Danielle, and then there's Doug and Danielle being friends. And I think Danielle, with a lot of students, can separate being friends and being area coordinator. And I went through some things personally at the beginning of the semester that Danielle helped me with, at the beginning of the semester and the fall semester, and then SGA-wise. After 2.5-hour meetings on Thursday, I will go into Danielle's room at 11:30 at night, and she'll sit and listen to me talk my mouth off for an hour. So I can't thank you enough for doing that for me. Our student life office, I'm going to point a few names out. Don Miller. You know, there was a common misperception, I think, that, you know, in my first couple of years, that for some reason me and Don didn't get along. And I don't know why. You know, I worked with Don my sophomore year when I was secretary. We put on the holiday dinner and Easter egg hunt and all that fun stuff when I said that I was just a mediocre kid. But, you know, I've really seen Don in a greater light this year, because I think I've worked with him very closely for this restructure process. And it's amazing that the help that he gives. I can just pop in his door, even though Bonnie tells me not to, and he'll still talk to me. You know, and he's got 40 million other things on his plate, and he has the time to talk to me. So thank you, Don, for that. Angie. Typical Angie. You know, one thing that stuck out to me about Angie is, and this isn't just this year, this is all the years. You know, Angie had to really do a lot for the concert that y'all had on Friday night with Don out of town, and she was packed with stuff. And the Thursday right before the concert, I'm sitting in student life, and Angie walks by, and every single time Angie walks by, I like look, and I just look back at my computer screen. Like it's no one important. She says something every single time, like, oh, I know I'm not important, you don't have to look at me. But, you know, she passes me this time, and she says, Douglas, do you need anything? And I'm like, Angie, no, I'm fine. Believe me, I'm fine. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes. I was like, I'll let you know if I need anything. She's like, all right, I just wanted to check. Meanwhile, she's preparing for this concert that is huge, the first annual concert at Hood College, and she's asking me if I need something. You know, she's been here for anything from budget questions, and Angie does not get the credit that she deserves because she puts in a lot of darn work on this campus. And for that, I thank you. Bonnie. I do too. I love her too. And I think with Bonnie, you know, unfortunately she couldn't make it tonight, but one thing that I certainly want to thank Bonnie for is, you know, each of us student leaders, just think, we go into student life and you see, you know, Don and Angie working and you need to find a stapler. And you can't find a stapler. And you say, Bonnie, where is the stapler? Bonnie, where are the scissors? Bonnie, do you have a notepad for me? Bonnie, is there a clipboard somewhere in the office? Bonnie, where are the markers? At least that's what I do. And I just think that I ask all this stuff. I can't imagine everyone else that goes into this office and asks the same exact thing every single day, let alone Bonnie sets up the meetings for Don and Angie usually. And she works her butt off at the front desk, and she doesn't get the credit that she deserves either. And I mean, I wish she could have been here tonight because I have so many nice things to say about Bonnie, just a genuine person. So round of applause for Bonnie. Dr. Gans, thank you for being here tonight. You know, I think me taking your class this semester was very influential to me. And I think the executive board can really thank you as well. You know, something that just popped into my mind right away when I was slapping down Post-its on my folder for our project for class is the crayon box that talked. Who in exec remembers the crayon box that talked? Thank you. An amazing story where some crayons, they just don't get along in the very beginning of the book. It's a children's book. They don't like each other, all the colors are different, and then this little kid starts drawing with all these colors and sees, hey look, the blue is the sky, green is the grass, yellow is the sun. You guys all do get along, let's work together as a team. It's basically the moral of the story. And Dr. Band's always an open door policy, and your class, and especially your leadership personality, has really allowed me to expand mine in SGA this year. And I think that you'll see that as I continue on this. So thank you. Dean White, the mentoring exercise that you put on for us in executive board, I asked Dean White to mentor us so we can become better student leaders. And I did not tell Dean White what I wanted us to be mentored in. I gave her no direction whatsoever. I said, listen, you're the dean, you should, you know, come on, right? So Dean White came into this executive board meeting and had this mentoring session. Who in exec remembers this mentoring session? Everyone. Simply fantastic. And what really struck me personally was when Dean White used me as an example, as a mentor, and said, what has Doug done to mentor you? Katie Hayes, what has Doug done to mentor you, Jen Bentz? And her using me as an example, you know, I thought, you know, I don't look as myself as a great mentor. You know, I look up to a lot of other people. So her being able to use that for me was certainly a special moment. And do I need to say more after what happened today? Nancy Hennessy. You know, I never really knew Nancy until my junior year, and you know how they tell you to go get your resume done your freshman year? I was one of those kids who did not. So, you know, I was a little behind in the game. Whoops. And I went into Nancy's office. I'd never met Nancy before in my life. And just the pep that she has in her step all the time, the energy that you have every single day, the energy that I hope it seems like I have every single day, or I want to have every day, is what I want to mirror after you. you know, I went into Nancy's office to get my resume looked at. And I think the first time that I met her, actually, I had a mock phone interview. And we had a mock phone interview, and you know, I almost laughed because I was like, this is Nancy Henderson on the other line. This is my real job interview. But you know, it did work, I'll tell you that much. But just getting the basics down, and you know, I think it's special when someone at an institution like this at Hood College can get you ready for your career. And even though I didn't go through the Career Center to get an internship or to get a job, I went through the Career Center to set me up for those. So thank you for that. You know, I talk about all these great things, these awesome things that SGA has done this year. But some things didn't work. We weren't successful 100% of the time. Not even close. Again, using Dr. Band's class, I sat in an executive board meeting and we were thinking about a May Madness activity to do. We wanted to do something out of the box. We wanted to get excited. And I said, all right, let's make a motion to discuss May Madness. So I said, all right, all approved, great, everyone approved. So I said, ideas. And I'm not kidding, the room was quiet for a good 10 seconds. No one had an idea. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what have I learned in Dr. Band's class that can help me out here? Everyone, write down 3 ridiculous ideas right now. Write down 3 ridiculous ideas. So we ended up writing down these ridiculous ideas, and I saw like Don and Danielle chatting a little bit, and other people, and some of the ideas weren't so ridiculous. They were pretty original, to be honest. But one idea came about was having fireworks at May Madness. And I said, why not? So we kind of took it into our own hands. Didn't really talk to the administration about it. I met with the fireworks company, with campus safety and our fire marshal, and you know, they said, good to go, you're good to go. And you know, I met with the administration. I sat down with Chuck Mann, President of Volpe, and Dean White. And I presented this idea to them, and we were going to set them off in the softball field, and you know, no worry, of the turf field right next to it, you know, big deal, right? Yeah, it didn't go through. No, but I'll get back to that. You know, I asked Chuck Mann for students to be let into the dining hall to sit with their friends and eat. You know, why can't people just go into the dining hall and eat? He explained to me, I understood, and you know, I went quiet. I was supposed to have a State of the Union every semester. It's something I talked about, a personal goal of mine that I didn't accomplish. But I've lived by the quote for a long, long time, and Danielle Weaver, you know what's coming. You must have long-term goals to keep you from being frustrated by short-term failures. I think I've used it in every speech I've ever given at Hood College. You know, just because I sat in and talked about fireworks and the idea, you know, maybe wasn't, you know, well received, or we tried to find something else to do at May Madness, or Chuck Mann said, no, I'm sorry, you know, you can't have, you know, your friends sit in there, doesn't mean that our relationships were tarnished. And one thing that I grew to learn through my 4 years was that relationships are built over the years, and they'll only help you. Like with Dr. Band's student panels. I love those student panels. I love doing those things. And the admissions officers, I loved when they would ask me. And Angie, I loved when you would ask me to do the student panels. You know, that was a privilege for me. Basketball games with Chuck and President Volpe jumping on and doing interviews with me. And then seeing, you know, a bunch of you guys, the senior staff, at the musical, something I expanded my horizons a little bit and decided to do. And, you know, relationships, you know, those are the